Yeah, it's your host, Broken Prodigal, and what we're gonna do today is go over a classic game. This is Broken Reaction Game Review Channel. I believe I said that right.
I make commitments, then I lie. I guess I'm addicted. You say it's cool, but it's not fine. I see all red like a stop sign. I want control when it's not mine. I guess I'm addicted. I don't know why I can't get you out of my eyesight. I make commitments, then I lie.
What we're gonna talk about is a classic game. Today is Classic Friday, and what we're gonna do is talk about a game I used to play as a child in my childhood, Mortal Kombat 2. So a lot of you guys are familiar with what Mortal Kombat is. It's a very large franchise. We're currently on the sequel, Mortal Kombat 11. Thanks to Ed Boon, still holding it down after all these years. Anyway, so I originally played this game when I was about maybe 6, but the first one came out when I was about 5, so I want to say maybe around 1992. But anyway, so Mortal Kombat 2 was a pretty dope game. You know, it was a sequel. It didn't quite have the Mortal Kombat 3 combo system, but it had a type of combo system. People found ways to make combos and link up their moves. But either way, it was still a dope game. I remember my brother, what made it significant to me is that my brother, who was in the military, he purchased it for me. He asked me what I wanted. I used to write him letters all the time, and then I told him I wanted Mortal Kombat 2, so he went and bought Mortal Kombat 2 for me. And he also had a strategy guide to go with it, which would help you become a better gamer and understand the inputs, if you could read it. But anyway, so I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I misplaced it on a family trip to Grand Bay. I don't know what happened. But anyway, moving right along. So, one of my favorite games, we're gonna watch me play this on a MAME for Droid application or emulator. I got the ROM and everything set up, so right now I'm currently playing with Sub-Zero, one of my favorite characters, but it also included many other people like Raiden, Liu Kang, Kung Lao. This was actually Kung Lao's first appearance, and Kung Lao is also my favorite character on Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat X. Kitana, Melina, Johnny Cage, we have Scorpion. Also, no longer as a guest appearance, Reptile, he actually has his own moves, because on part 1 he played with Sub-Zero and Scorpion moves in the pit, on the pit stage. But anyway, moving right along, and Shang Tsung, he's a playable character on part 2. So this game was just so dope to me. And Baraka, I'm sorry, it's just coming to me as I go. But really enjoyed this game, man. It was really one of the coolest games for me in my childhood, man. I got really good, so good that I had 16-year-olds that would like literally play with me and play serious. And I was like 5 or 6. I was pretty young, so I didn't realize how that looked until I have my own kids, and I realized like, yo, to have a little kid on par with you is kind of weird. But yo, I always love playing video games. So with no further ado, Sub-Zero being my favorite, I learned all his moves, I learned all his fatalities, all his friendships, and all his stage fatalities. What was dope about part 2, we're gonna go a little dialogue on Shaolin Monks, which was really pretty much the story from part 1 to part 2. It was pretty cool because I love part 2 so much. So for them to make Shaolin Monks, me and my little brother, I was Kung Lao and he was Liu Kang, and we went through that story, and to see the backstory, I was like, man, that was for me. And Shaolin Monks happen to have a secret thing. If you unlock certain things, you can unlock the Mortal Kombat 2. So actually going through Shaolin Monks, seeing Mortal Kombat 2 stages relive was a pretty dope experience. And then there was also Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero, my favorite character. But man, it's pretty dope, man. If I could rate this game, man, I definitely would give it a 10. See, it's classic, and I know, like, oh man, that's just, you're being biased, but no, for its time, it was a 10. Everybody played this in the arcade, man. I remember going to the arcade with my coins, and my cousin Tiffany would let us go to the mall back when Ballard Mall had an arcade. And man, we would rock out there, man. The teenagers would be talking, and I'd be right there on the sticks doing my things. And it's actually one of the reasons why I even have an arcade stick to today. So let me show you what I got. Well, you're probably not gonna see it because I'm in a little bubble. But if you can see through all that, you see my arcade stick, my fight stick. Mortal Kombat was one of the first games I learned how to play with a fight stick on. So yeah, yeah, man. So this is a classic review, man. Also, don't forget to subscribe, man. I'm sorry, it's been a second. I have a new video coming to you guys, but I want to do a classic one. I'm like, you know, it's Friday, and we've entered in the month of October. That's why the lights are off, and you know, Mortal Kombat had that vibe, had that Octoberish vibe, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, really enjoyed it. I got my tail kicked a couple of times, or many times, you know. With the main for droid, it gives you the arcade version of the game, so it gives you the option to insert coins or press the coin button to refill up for your credits, which is cool. I absolutely love it because on the NES or the Sega version, after about 3 losses consecutively, you start over, you're back at the ladder. It forced you to get better. Yeah. So one thing I do want to mention before I end this video, not so early, but before we get to the end of the video, getting better on this particular Mortal Kombat wasn't like playing a Tekken or a Street Fighter. Probably like a Street Fighter. I would say Street Fighter, but not like a Tekken or Soul Calibur. And what I meant was just being good with your character wasn't good enough. You really had to know the computer. If you didn't know the computer and recognize its rhythms, then you wouldn't be able to catch it. And it was always a certain rhythm, like with certain things, like walking backwards just to make the computer come towards you, and then jumping to make them jump, and then catching them with a kick to knock them out of the air. Simple stuff like that. And like learning spacing, this would be the first game where it would introduce me to really properly spacing to have an advantage or upper hand over my opponents. So yeah, just wanted to mention that, man. It's a pretty dope game. Yeah, man. So hit me up in the comment section if you want to see more videos, or you have a game that you like that you would love to see a review on. Look, time is of the essence. You know, we've been going through this COVID season, so I'm willing to go back in time. If you have a retro game, you can go all the way to PS1. We can go PS2, PS3. We can go any PS. Or we can switch it over to the Switch, even the Xbox, man. My options are open. Just hit me up in the comment section and say, yo, I want to review this. And we'll do a vote, and then we'll go through with it. Meanwhile, stay posted for my next video. It's going to be a PS4 game. And we're going to talk about the permadeath on The Last of Us 2. So, peace. Thank you for watching. It's your boy, Broken Prodigal.
I make commitments, then I lie. I guess I'm addicted. You say it's cool, but it's not fine. I see all red like a stop sign. I want control when it's not mine. I guess I'm addicted. I don't know